Hi everybody, today I'm your host Akash and today we are doing a hands-on review of the Lenovo P1m, which is recently launched by Lenovo, and this one is about the people who are very conscious about the battery life. This one has a stellar battery of around 3900 mAh and which is able to give you a great battery life, and under this price point this is the phone which has the best battery life among all the phone under this price bracket. So let's begin with this review of this phone. Okay guys, so now first let's talk about the display part of the phone. The display on this phone is 720p IPS LCD display, and the display is pretty decent on the phone. The viewing angles are quite good. You can see here the color shifting is very less on the phone, and the viewing angles are very great. Even you can see here, even after tilting it too much, you can able to see the screen pretty easily, and the colors are pretty soothing to the eyes, I would say. And I quite enjoyed this display as it has a very natural color temperature. You can also play with the color temperature of the display. For that you need to go to setting, display, mirror vision, and here if you go here there's a picture mode. So in picture mode you can play the temperature of the display. There's a user mode and a vivid mode, so you can also set the display temperature as per your requirement on this phone. This is a pretty decent feature, and I wish that all the phones should have this feature. Now let's talk about the battery part of this phone. This phone has a very stellar battery life, and this is the killer feature of the phone. And I think this phone targets the people who are very battery conscious, who travels a lot and who continuously working on their phone for a long time. And this phone, I would say, able to give you a battery life of around 2 to 1.5 days. If you are a casual user, this phone lasts for 2 days easily, and if you uses this phone a little heavily, and this is able to survive for 1.5 day easily. And the other thing about this phone is that it supports fast charging, and under this price point I would say this is a great feature. And the company is also supplying a fast charger with this phone, so the charging time on this phone is pretty quick. You do not need to be wait for around 4 to 5 hours to charge this huge battery. I would say within a 2 hours I'm able to charge this phone from 0 to 100%. So this is a great feature on this phone, and for battery life I would give this phone a big thumbs up. Okay guys, now let's talk about the call quality on this phone. I'll give you a demo by dialing a customer care number. Let's put this on hands-free, and let's increase the volume.
वोडाफोन की मनोरंजक दुनिया में आपका स्वागत है। सुपरहिट पंजाबी, हिंदी और न्यू बॉलीवुड गानों के लिए इस सेवा को लेने के लिए शूट दबाएं। पाएं अपनी मिस कॉल्स की।
So guys, on the right hand side there is a microphone, and on the left hand side there is a speaker. So we have only one speaker. Some of the people might think that we have 2 speakers, but this is not the case with this phone. And I would say the call quality and the network reception on this phone is pretty decent, and I have not faced any issue with the call quality. And if I have to rate, I would like to rate it for 9 out of the 10 for the call quality and the network receptions. So we have no issues with the call quality, and I think we should consider this feature on every phone, the must feature, because now people are not worrying about the call quality. Okay guys, now let's talk about the camera part on this phone. This phone has a 8 megapixel rear shooter and 5 megapixel front shooter. And about this camera, I would say that this is a decent camera for the price point. Before giving you some of the samples on this phone, let's give you the overview about the camera UI. This is the camera UI. This is a pretty basic UI, I would say. You can record a video maximum up to 720p. Sadly, 1080p is not supported on this phone, and the maximum video you can record is around 30 minutes. And now let's go to some of the camera options. You can take picture into 16:9 ratio as for the full screen mode, and you can also have the option for 4:3. At this ratio you can take higher resolution images, that is around 8 megapixels. This phone has some of the night modes, scene modes: night, auto, sunset, party, portrait, landscape, etc., and so many is provided by the company. You can also play with the white balance, ISO settings, picture quality. So these are the basic setting on this phone. Now let's take a picture on this phone. So this is the object. Let's focus first. So this is, guys, the lighting environment is not great here. So okay, so we have just clicked a picture with this phone, and I would say the flash is too powerful here. It just lighten the object, and the shutter speed is a concern here. The shutter speed is pretty slow, I would say, and you need a very steady hands to click a good picture. Let's try to show some samples which I took with this camera. Okay guys, now these are some of the sample shots which I took with the help of this camera, and under good lighting conditions I would say the pictures come out to be pretty good, that it has a lot of details. Don't expect that this camera would do the wonders. If you are looking for a best camera under this price point, then I would suggest look elsewhere. This is not the phone which give you the best camera under this price point. Okay guys, now let's talk about the performance on this phone. This phone has a MediaTek quad-core processor which is clocked at 1 gigahertz, and I would say this is a pretty old processor, but this doesn't looks slow, or I would say the performance on this phone is pretty decent. If you are a very keen observer, then only you are able to notice very few lags on this phone. I would say more than 95% of the time this phone is lag free. You can see minor stutters at some times when you are doing a multitasking heavily. You can see that we have opened so many apps on the background, and still the performance is pretty decent on the phone. Even I have tried some of the games of this phone, and I would say this phone is decent performer for the casual games. I would not recommend playing heavy games on this phone, because if you play heavy games on the higher settings, then this might not be able to play those games, and I think the games are even unplayable. One of my friend tried Asphalt 8 at higher settings, and he's not able to play that game. That game is unplayable at high settings. So this is not a phone for gamers, but yes, you can do a casual gaming. Even I have installed one of casual game, that is Beach Buggy Racing. If you want, I can play that game for you, and this game ran pretty fine on this phone, and I have not seen any of the issue. You can see here. It takes a little time to load the game, but once it loads up, there is no issue. You can see here I am playing this game single-handedly, so I might not be able to play this game pretty well. I think that's enough. So you have seen that the performance is pretty good on this phone, but this is not the phone for gamers. And I also talked about the camera, and the camera is decent on the phone, not the great, not the bad. It's a pretty average camera. Okay guys, now let's sum up this review, and let's talk about some of the pros and the cons of this phone. So the first biggest pros of this phone is that it has a stellar battery life. it is one of the best battery life performing phones under this price point. And with this great battery life, we are also getting fast charging as well as the fast charging charger, which charges this phone pretty quickly, which is, I would say, one of the best feature of this phone. And the next thing, we have a good display, good network, and call quality. It supports micro SD card up to 32 GB, and we can insert two SIMs with 4G support, and the network quality is also decent here. If we talk about the UI, it's running Vibe UI on the top of Android 5.1 Lollipop, and I would say the UI is pretty decently optimized, and we have some good tweaks. We can play with some of the setting. We have a theme store as well, and we can change the overall look of the phone as well. So it's a pretty decent UI. It is not as customizable as the other brands like Asus or Mi, but still I would say this is a pretty decent UI. Even we are getting some updates which I have not done yet, so maybe we have some additional features as well on this phone after updating the phone. And now let's talk about the other thing. The RAM management is pretty decent on the phone. So these are the some pros of the phone. If we talk about some of the biggest con on this phone is the camera quality. I would say this is okay camera for the price, but this is not one of the best seen under this price point. Some of the other brands like Asus or Mi provide you a better camera quality, but this is not a bad camera. This is a okay camera. And the next thing is the gaming performance, as this phone has 2 GB RAM and a MediaTek processor, which is a pretty old processor. This is good for a casual gaming, but not for the people who are core gamer or a heavy gamer. So if you are a gamer, please do not look on this phone, do not consider this phone, look elsewhere, I would say. Now if I sum up, under the price of 8,000 rupees, we are getting some pretty good deal from Lenovo. And if I am talking about the after sales service, then I would definitely recommend this phone over the other brands like Mi or Mizu, because Lenovo is a pretty established brand in India, and we have a great network of service center of Lenovo. So I would definitely recommend this phone for the people who are looking for great battery life, good display, decent performance, and those who are casual gamers. So I'm concluding this review that I'm giving a good thumbs up to this phone, and I recommend this phone definitely to everyone. Let's see what you think about this phone. Thanks for watching this video. Have a great day. Bye bye.